Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Making Dark Souls game, yada yada yada. Yay, everyone get excited. Woo. Let's get into it. Oh, sorry. Phenomenal intro. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Welcome here. Let's try that again. Welcome here, Minnow. Welcome here, Michael Morris. Welcome here, Matthias. Welcome here, the man in the room. Is my glorious king back? No, but, I'm here. I'll have to do. And welcome here, Yadi. I am making a Souls-like game, kind of, that, you play, basically with an Xbox 360 Kinect. Even though currently it's controlled by mouse and keyboard. Also, I self-inserted myself into the game off camera. Isn't he just so handsome? Now you can have two of me on screen during stream. Anyways. Today. What is Xbox 360 Kinect? Imagine... yeah, just imagine. Basically, you control the game with your body by moving around in real life. You're too young. Us dino people know what that is. Us dino people. Look at your peaks. Alright. So currently in the game, he has a very basic AI that just swings his sword over and over again. What did I do off camera? When you block, it actually, the sword's actually in the right spot. I don't know what I all did off camera. I was sick for a little bit. Yeah, I did stuff. You'll just have to figure out what I did off camera, because I don't completely remember. Today I want to... fix a bug, first. I first want to fix a bug. Currently... what I've noticed, when you're blocking, sometimes it works, but if you're a little bit off in a certain direction, it just doesn't block. This should be blocking here. But for some reason, it doesn't block, so it only blocks if you overshoot in the... is this negative direction? That sounds like slash and metal banging when you block. Yes, I will have to do that, because, sound, in this case, sound is very important. Because if the gameplay was just this... don't worry about the bugs. If the gameplay was just this right now, and then slash and stuff like that, like, you can't tell when you block and then you can counterattack and stuff like that, and... yeah, like, I'm gonna need some particles and stuff like that to give, like, each hit an impact, so you know what's happening. Pairs have been answered. Welcome here, Luca. And also, welcome here, I'm gonna mess this up really bad. Everyone prepare, get your OBS out and record me saying this name completely incorrectly. Suma Deep Karmakar. Anyways, Just call you SK? Okay, that's a lot easier. Welcome here, SK. And what do I mean by motion controlled? Do you know what the Xbox 360 is? Or are you not a dinosaur? Did I lose subs? Yeah, it happens. I post videos like once, like every other month. Like, I don't post a lot of videos, so it happens. People unsubscribe. Seems like I made progress. What's going on? I am going to fix a bug. I know, very descriptive of what's going on. Trying to think where this bug could be. No, this is all determined by the mouse, though, so... I'm getting to that point of making a game that it's a lot of humming and hawing about, what do I do next and what is wrong. Show my entire code I've made. Alright, here's the almost 400 lines of the entity controller. Here's 141 lines of code. Here's another 21. Here's 110 lines of code. Here's 29. That one's pretty short. And here's 78. There you go. That's all my code. Okay, this is probably... I have a function down here, or an if statement down here somewhere. Yeah, here. Let's just remove these for a second. It's a lot of lines of code. Okay, so here's the thing. The reason this game has so many lines of code isn't because the game is that complex. The reason is because there is zero animation in this game. Like, everything you're seeing, this is all animated by code. So moving my mouse around and the sword moves like this. This isn't like an animation that is blending between and stuff like that. There is no animation. When I'm walking around, you see the legs moving. That's not animation. None of this is animated, which is also why the legs do weird stuff sometimes, and I haven't bug fixed that. I know how to bug fix it. I'm just not that worried about legs right now. And like all of this, none of this is animated. Okay. .48. Would I ever accept a sponsor from Raid Shadow Legends? No, I wouldn't, Luca. Okay, so here it looks fine. If I move a little bit to the left, it increases until 0.54. Here it's decreasing. And then all of a sudden it got really far away when the sword swapped sides. So it goes up to... Okay, let's just go back to this side. I'm looking at the numbers on the debug log to see where the problems are. 0.2, 0.1. It's really small right now. And there it is. It goes all the way to 0.9 from like 0.1. Respect, but I heard they pay good for their sponsors. Yeah, because I'm definitely doing YouTube for the money, Luca. Because I've definitely made so many big bucks off of YouTube and only care about the money. So like the Metroid Prime for Wii gun you move is not animated as an example. Yeah, it's called inverse kinematics. This is just, very complicated inverse kinematics. Normally, you use inverse kinematics to animate something easier, so basically you can set where the hands are and where the legs are, and it makes you be able to make animations really fast. But rather, instead of just animating everything using inverse kinematics, I'm using inverse kinematics to, animate everything with code. Welcome here, it's human. Although I saw your hello before, I forgot to say welcome. Also, Blee, I see you up there. Welcome here. Because in here, animation is a no-no. No, it's not that animation is a no-no. It's just part of the gameplay. This game is actually based off of, I'll show you. No, I don't... It's based off of this minigame from Wii Sports Resorts. Basically, you had two controls. You could, basically, like, you used your Wii remote in the motion controls to move your, Here, let me... Basically, you use your Wii remote to basically move your sword around, and then you press B to block, and like, basically you're just trying to hit your opponent off the stage. Remove the hit your opponent off the stage part. All I'm trying to do is just Dark Souls, where the other one just, your opponent just dies. How many bosses have I settled on? I haven't yet, Luca. Like, I need to get all of my code done, and then I can start being like, okay, how many bosses do I want? Anyways, it looks so familiar. Yeah, it's the controls are based off of this game. It's a more complex and kind of like Dark Souls meets this game sort of controls. But I'm just calling it Dark Souls for the sake of the art contest I'm making this for. The game is going to be titled Zinth Souls. Like that's non-negotiable. It is going to be titled that. Anyways, coding. Okay, so I'm having problems with the sword. How am I calculating the angles between them? Because I might just be calculating it wrong. Dot sword angle and dot sword angle. Okay, I'm basically taking the math dot hand. How am I calculating sword angle, though? Making golf right now because it's fun. Alright, do it. It should be good that we make lore for this. I don't know if I have time for lore. Yo! Oh wait, no, it's SNAS 2. Never mind. That's not how I greet SNAS 2. SNAS 2, yeah, Electric Boogaloo. Still me, but 2.0. Yeah, there you go. Do I set sword angle in here? I probably don't. It's been so long that I've worked with, It's part of the player state, which player state would be in utility. Sword angle equals sword angle, so it just set, is it set by the entity controller? I think it is. Ah, there it is. Astro, can I gift you mod? You have been really active recently. I think you deserve it. I don't know. What does this count as? Does this count as asking for mod? Man, I'm still a little bit tired from being sick. I'm trying to keep it together. Okay, the problem's here. So what's happening is that the sword isn't actually centered with the angle that it's at for... Okay, here. The sword's position is measured from its crossguard. So the crossguard is basically the 0-0 position for the sword. But when you're blocking, you can see where my mouse is. The hilt isn't... Like, it's slightly offset. Like, the crossguard isn't perfectly lined up with my mouse. It's a little bit off, and so the blocking angle is a little bit off as well because of how it's being calculated. So rather, I need to calculate this by taking... You think bosses should be taller than the player? Other than Asher, of course, he should be dwarf-sized. Hey! Is that a short joke I hear? Welcome here, AEK. Oh, wait, sorry, Snass is here. Yo! There you go. How would I calculate this? It's not as simple as just taking the mouse position because there's a lot of, like, fading that goes on between, like, mouse position and stuff like that. I have to calculate this somewhere, don't I? Okay, let's look at the sword. Every time you press the attack button, it needs an angle. It literally does that. Oh yeah, because it's not blocking. A plus B equals C. School is awesome. Alright, let me try that. That's plus B, that's the B equals C. Alright, save. It didn't work. Welcome here, Rolf. A plus B equals AB, though? No, actually not. Wait, we have Astro as protagonist? Yes, I am the well, I'm not the protagonist of this game. I just happen to be the main villain of the game. Okay, so I can't use position. I wonder. Wait, I have an idea. Because I have something called an angle offset in the block, so I can do some fancy math. Or, I can do some simple math. Where is it? Block radius, yeah. And then block angle offset. So, theoretically, when I'm calculating the sword angle, if the player is blocking, input block key dot value, if the player is blocking, then SNAS, how many alternative accounts do you have? You only have SNAS 2. We have an imposter. Man, is everyone gonna rename their account to SNAS and then put some number after it now? Read my plot script? Alright. What's the lore? Game plot twist. You were, chat is scrolling, so I need to scroll up. Game plot twist. You were Astro the whole time, and this was all a dream. You just wanted to feel like your favorite streamer. So, fun fact, I am Astro. The whole time. So I guess there was no plot twist. Anyways, sword angle minus equals, block angle offset time. I have a value somewhere for the sword. Block direction, that's what it is. The block direction just tells you which side of the body the sword's on, so then it just helps with not breaking the rig. And then theoretically, if I do that, that actually just should solve all of my bugs. Okay. Yeah, and then it's hitting through. Oh wait, no, it's not hitting through. Yeah, now it's hitting through. Okay, let's test the other side. Yeah, that fixed it. Wait, Astro AI has enough brain cells to attack. This is the only thing he can do, SNAS. I haven't done anything more with him yet. Anyways, the blocking works now. It works properly, I should say. So I can remove this. That was a much easier fix than I thought it would be. Okay, one thing I do need to do, something I did notice. This right here. I have something called a block target. I need to set its local position every single time that, I need to set the, block target dot, Local position equals new vector 3 block target dot local position dot x 0.2 and block target dot local position dot z. Negative 0.2f times block direction. Because I'm noticing some problems with the sword, that it's not lining up when the sword flips around. Oh no, there's SNAS 4! Luca, I don't use AI. Okay, blocking on that side works. And blocking on that side works. Perfect. It visually works. Have I tried adding a particle when you block? I haven't done that yet, but that is on the plans to do. I might also, like, play around with time, like, pause the game for, like, a quarter of a second when, like, impacts happen. I mean, Luca, as they say, impersonation is the greatest form of flattery. Or, sorry, that's imitation. The Zinth model rig, I actually need to disable some stuff. I need to disable the shoulders. I'm realizing that the best way to work with the shoulders is to just set a default value for them. Yeah, it looks fine. Are the hands attached everywhere? Hands are slipping over here. Maybe I'll re-enable it. Just so I don't have to worry about, like, hands slipping. Astro, what's with the mic kind of bug? Is the mic bugging out? Probably just your trash Wi-Fi. Okay. I mean, if someone else, if like 2 other people say that it's bugging out, then what is my main job, Astro? I work at 435 Wallaby Way, Sydney, Australia, and I work as a receptionist at the car dealership there. I don't actually, but no, I'm a video editor by trade. I'm a freelance video editor. Okay. The mod job paying off today. Luca, you just... You see, I don't even need to, like, pay you guys. You guys just, like, get paid and getting to time people out. Every time out $1, I don't have that much money, SNAS. Why won't you appear in chat? Because SNAS and Luca are having fun, so they timed you out. I dropped something. Half the chat are just the mod. No, the SNASs are multiplying. SNAS 5. Man, I wonder who owns all of these SNAS accounts. Really wondering who owns SNAS 5, 3, 4, and also the account Yaddy. Man, I wonder who owns all of those. Couldn't tell you which chat member has all of those. Keep that strong ass sure you're on your own. Hey, what can I say? Free viewership by having multiple one person watching me on 4 different accounts. Which programming language am I using? C#. Glad I could help. SNAS 6 next. I swear you go for like 5 minutes. Yeah, SNAS, you're multiplying. Are you, SNAS, are you secretly a rabbit? This is something I need to know. All of chat is wondering, are you secretly a rabbit? Because you seem to be multiplying. I also don't remember your name being human. Like, it's human in chat. It's human. We know it's human is human. Because it's in the name. But you aren't, like, named SNAS the human or anything. Alright, where's $3? SNAS, I'm broke. I don't have that money. I didn't even make $3 off of my latest video I uploaded. I didn't even make $1 off of it. What do you think I'm gonna pull $3 out of? I also accept cents. Well, I don't have $3 worth of pennies on me, SNAS. Do you accept ancient Roman money? To be fair, I would actually accept ancient Roman money because ancient Roman money was made out of gold. Because the idea of currency of that time and age and before that was that if the physical coin itself was made of a valuable substance, then the coin in of itself retained its value even though that the idea of money is a virtual concept. Essentially, it's basically your money being backed up by the gold standard, except your money is just the gold standard. Pay in Unity funds. Pay up in Robux. You have to go down. You have to go buy. No, it's the last human in chat. No! I should also replay this. I wasn't streaming on this day, but hey. Congratulations, Gestation, for becoming a member. Woo! That happened 4 days ago. I just wanted to see it on screen. Honestly, I want to see it again. Yeah. You know what? I think we could go for like round 3 with that. Anyways, I'm supposed to be coding. Okay, so now, at this point, but am human Astro, how can you prove it? It's not in your name. It's not the man in the room human. Your name is just the man in the room. How am I supposed to know you're human? SNAS, you're multiplying again. Okay, so now we actually have some gameplay. That's actually playable. You can block, you can attack. And you can crash your computer, actually. That's one of my favorite parts of this. The following operation caused the stack overflow. This is honestly peak gameplay. If your game is running at more than 1 FPS, then it's a bad game, guys. Have you ever thought about that? games should really, like, you shouldn't be relying on high frame rates to have good gameplay. What happened? $275. Enemy controller dot attack. Huh? How did that cause a problem? Like, the enemy controller dot attack is... Oh. Wait. Yeah, never mind. That checks out. That checks out. People just mad when a game is at 30 FPS even though it's fine. They just complain about everything. Honestly, kind of true. 30 FPS is perfectly playable, by the way. Oh, hey, I'm dead. Okay. Wait, he has ban in his name. He's human! Oh, no way! FPS is more than I get in Minecraft. Java edition? Yeah, that's kind of true. 240 FPS is the minimum you can bear. I don't have a 240 FPS monitor. I know, broke man doesn't have 240 FPS monitor. My main monitor goes up to 144, but... my clones will replace me. What, do I give mod to all your clones, Nas? I give you 5 subs that equal to 5 viewers? No! We're getting too close to 10,000 too quick. I need to get this video out first before 2,000. Nas the type of person IRL to, if he gets 239 FPS, to die IRL if he gets 239 FPS instead of 240. Okay. At this point, before I add any sound effects in... Okay, before I add any sounds in or particle effects or stuff like that, I actually want to start working on the AI. So this is how my AI is going to work. I've had this script sitting here for a very long time. Essentially, it's going to have a list of different moves it can do. A dumb attack is basically just an attack, except it doesn't care if the opponent is blocking and where their sword is, so it's just attacking for the sake of attacking. Smart attacks are attacking on the other side of where the opponent's sword is to avoid them blocking the attack. The block weights, or block, is just what it sounds like, playing defensively, blocking an attack. A dodge is, well, there's a dodge mechanic in the game, so dodging an attack. Parrying an attack is when you perfectly time your block, and so the attack parries, which basically gives you an opening to get one free hit in if you parry an attack. A fake attack is, there's actually tech I added in this game, where if you're winding up for an attack, you can actually just start blocking. So if, say, you try to attack but your opponent dodges, then you can cancel your attack animation before it actually lands. The attack actually lands by blocking, and then you can attack again. So it's called a fake attack. Yes, there is tech in this game. There's animation canceling, I know. Do I have a laptop or a PC? I have a laptop, but I mean both of them are technically PCs. I have like a 2060 in my laptop. It's nothing insane. And then counterattacks is basically you dodge an attack, and then you attack again. Yeah, you dodge an attack, and then after your dodge, you attack. Then I have some other stuff like action speed, so this is how quickly the AI will swap between these. So basically, it will be doing one of these actions, but the action speed will determine how quickly it can swap between, say, doing a dumb attack to, say, doing a dodge or to doing a smart attack. Reaction time, I'm not sure I'm going to use this, but this is just, this will just be used to delay information. So I'm going to, if I use reaction time, then I'm going to have a buffer, basically, of all of the inputs that the opponent is doing, except they're all delayed by reaction time amount of seconds. And then action noise basically just allows me to make sure that the AI doesn't feel like it's doing the same thing every single time. That's a little bit of randomness to it as well. There you go. Now you know how my AI is going to work. And then I just have weights for all of them. Down here, I'm going to calculate stuff like if it's possible to do it, and then times if it's possible, and then multiplied by the weight. And then whichever one is the maximum will be done. And the reason the only thing the player does is attack right now is because there's dumb attack and smart attack. And they just attack right now. That's all they do. Okay. Now that I explained exactly, if I ever heard of the Odin Project, no, I have not. Goodbye, everyone. All right, bye, SNAS 4. Oh. Sorry if I'm making you guys yawn. Because SNAS 4 left, I am leving. All right, enjoy leving. Bye. SNAS is celebrating that the imposters are gone. Alright, so fake attack calculation. Yeah, I'm not gonna know what I don't know what I'm gonna do with these. Counterattack. I wonder if I'm gonna check if I'm currently in a dodge and the other player is currently attacking. Then I'll counterattack. What time is it where I live? Oh, trying to narrow down my location, are you? It's the 2:17 in the afternoon. You're officially a silly Billy. No, I don't want to be a silly Billy random man from Poland. Also, welcome here. Welcome back, Hussein. Also, see ya, Yadi. Motion controls are rather silly. Yes, they are. I'm currently working on the AI, the opponent for this game. Alright, so what I need to do is I actually need to program some of these functions to actually do something. It's 2018 at your location. Cool. I mean, pretty much most of my viewers, it's like evening, it's getting close to night. Because most of you guys are a random man from Poland. Most of you guys are in Europe. I say most, because one of you is gonna be like, I'm not in Europe, I'm in the US, and then there's gonna be one person who says that, and all of us are gonna point and laugh at that one person because haha, they're the only person in chat who's from the US. How am I gonna move backward and forward with the Kinect? Leaning forwards moves forward, leaning backwards moves backwards, leaning left move left, leaning right move right. Crazy. I know. So dumb attack, I need to... Okay, how do I want to do this? Because I want the sword to move around on its own, even if you're not dumb attacking, even if you're not smart attacking. I also need to add something for idling. Basically, idling will be a constant wait. How much do I enjoy programming? It depends what I'm programming. This program has been pretty fun because it's been very mathematically heavy. Actually, I like the suggestion that was there from just the autocomplete. It's actually more performant. Alright. So do you enjoy math? Yeah. Math's fun. Like math and programming is really fun because it's taking a complex problem. For example, a mouse position on screen and turning that into a position for where the sword should be. It's a very difficult problem. And it's a very challenging problem to figure out. And then also like doing all of these animations. These animations are all just made with math. There is no animation in this game. And so like figuring that all out with math is just really interesting. What languages can I program in? Right now, I don't know. Like, the thing is, like, what languages have I ever programmed in? I have programmed in JavaScript. I have programmed with the entire HTML5 suite. I haven't programmed with C#. I've worked with C++. I've worked with HLSL, GLSL, OpenGL, Unity CG, Objective-C. Like, I've worked with a lot of stuff. PHP, I did a lot of stuff when I was in school with PHP, which sounds weird, but it was poor man's multiplayer game. That's why I worked with PHP. Because I could get, there was a web hosting service, which I don't recommend, called 000 Web Host that I used in school. Which basically had, by default, had PHP support enabled, so, like, I could just run PHP servers off of it. How old are you? 35 if you squint really hard. No, I can't, because I can't do emojis in the, debug log. And also, print isn't a function in C#. Bro's that old. He met Abraham Lincoln. I said 35 if you squint really hard. You had a laptop that took 30 minutes to open Unity? It depends on your Unity project. If I try to I have a Unity project that's just for, like, animating stuff for videos. That is probably my biggest Unity file I have. If I try to open that, that thing will take, I know that, like, my laptop's probably nowhere near as old as yours was, but it still takes, like, 5 minutes to open that one file. I think I'll keep dumb attack as this because it'll probably be going from idle to dumb attack. And if it's going from idle, idle can just, like, I can just create, like, a random function in here where it'll randomly move the sword around. If can attack true equals false, not quite how this works. You now have a different PC that is DDR3. That's still pretty old at this point. But I mean, if it works, it works. It's not so old, like a DDR3 laptop isn't so old at this point that it doesn't work at all. But it has 60 gigabytes of RAM. How much RAM you have doesn't determine everything, but it at least does. But it is usable if you're using it for lighter weight workloads. If you're, say, trying to start video editing, or maybe you want to run some, like, high-end games, maybe you want to stream, DDR3 RAM might not keep up with that. If it runs, it can run Doom. There you go. And it's a tower PC. Yeah. DDR3 is just really old at this point, Rolf. So, like, currently, the current standard for RAM is DDR5. And so DDR3 RAM is fairly slow at this point, and if you're running DDR3 RAM, that also means you're running an old CPU with it, which means you probably also only have PCI Gen 3 support. Do I own a Raspberry Pi? No, I don't. And so it's not just the DDR3 that makes me think, oh, that isn't suited for heavier weight workloads. It's DDR3 means you probably also have an Intel 7th gen or earlier CPU, which Intel CPUs are currently on, like, 14th gen, so that's already quite a few generations old. You're maxing out at PCIe 3 probably, so your GPU is either a newer one that's being throttled. Your PC is 4 gigabytes, DDR3, i7 2nd gen. Oh, man, you are cooking with that computer. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can find the specs for my computer. For the longest time, I was working on a computer, like, I was making games. This was before I was doing content creation, by the way, or video editing. I was making games when I was still in school on a computer that was 20 years old. At the time of me getting my current computer, it was 20 years old. So nowadays it's like 24, 25 years old. It had in it a Intel Core, a Intel Quad Duo Quad. Intel Quad Core 2 Duo. That's what it was called. There's a few different versions of this, but it was the one from like 2006. So that was the CPU it had. If you want to like compare people making games in Unity. So that CPU was from 2006. Yeah, here it is. The latest generation of x86 compatible processors, Core 2 Duo microprocessor family, was introduced July 27th, 2006. Yeah. And then I had a GPU, which was a, what was it? It was a NVIDIA GT 3800, I want to say. Is that a GPU? It was a GPU from like 2008. Like, it was really old computer. That thing ran on DDR2 RAM. It ran Unity, by the way. Unity has a way of supporting old computers, because that computer only supported, what was it? DirectX 9 on it. And so basically, Unity was running at DirectX 10 and was emulating DirectX 10 on a DirectX 9 GPU just so you can make games for DirectX 10. Yeah, I used to make games on that. That was my computer. Your CPU is a quad core with 3.8 gigahertz? Oh yeah, sounds fine. And I mean, like, okay, as much as I'm like, I was saying that, like, it can't run heavy workloads, like, older CPUs are still fine. I like, the thing is, it's probably still just fine. It just might be that some later games it can't run, or maybe if you're trying to do, like, as heavy of video editing as I do, it won't be able to handle that sort of thing. But honestly, it probably does fine for you, the computer, even though it has DDR3 RAM, and you're looking at a older CPU. It still all works. And it's definitely cheaper than buying brand new hardware. That stuff's expensive nowadays. You use Godot Engine 4? I've never used Godot before, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. You have Linux on your PC because broke, and you know what? It works. Also, Windows is free, but you just get the watermark in the corner if you don't pay for a license. Windows is free. Yeah. Okay. Idle. Here, I just want to rotate the sword around. Really? Yes, it is. Although, if you're already set up with Linux, and, like, you're comfortable with Linux at this point, like, why would you switch off of Linux? Linux are gonna get better like, you're gonna squeeze more performance out of your, older computer than you would with Windows. As long as you're not running into any problems that it's like, oh, I wish I could have Windows. As long as you're not having those moments that you're wishing you could have Windows. Yeah, you like Linux? Then stick with it. Nothing wrong with that. You'll get better performance, better security out of it, like... Okay, not necessarily better security, but better privacy out of it. There's a lot of upsides to using Linux. So if you're comfortable with Linux, just keep using it. If you're using a Mac, though, you wish you had Windows, though. Every Mac user I've ever heard is, like, wishing they had Windows to a degree, even though they'll never admit it because they're a Apple fanboy. You want to get started with game dev? Any tips? Just make a game. Honestly, okay. I've been saying this in a very weird way for a while. Every single time someone asks me, how did I learn to make games? I always answer it in a weird way. Discard all. I did hear Pirate Software explain it in a much nicer way, which is exactly what I was trying to say, but, I just said it in a much better way than I did. Just start Just think of a game you want to make. Just start with a game you want to make. Even, you know what? Maybe even start with just the most basic thing. Make a box move. Don't use tutorials. What you want to do is you want to first start with the documentation. If you're confused by the docs and that doesn't help, then you can move on to, say, Googling it. You'll have resources like Stack Overflow, which will show up on Google, or other stuff, whatever. You'll have resources on Google that will, like, people have already probably asked this question that you're having. So it's, if you're struggling with making a box move, okay, how do I make a box move? You start with the documentation. If that doesn't help you, then you move over to Google. If Google doesn't help you, then you can look at a tutorial. But as soon as the tutorial answers your question, go back to making your game. Just start with something simple. Make a box move. After you make a box move, make it jump, you have Mario. Oh yeah, that's... I know a lot of people will say... I know that, like, Pirate Software says a lot, that, and it's been said a lot, like, you should be choosing your game engine based on what game you want to make. Honestly, just start with a game engine. Don't worry about the game you want to make. Don't worry about the game you want to make. Just make a simple game. Just start in a game engine. So if you want to, say, make realistic games, just start with Unreal Engine. Just learn Unreal Engine. If you're thinking then you want to make 2D games, maybe start with Unity or with Game Maker Studio. Just learn that one. I don't know what Godot's strengths are, but Godot exists. Just start with a game engine and just make, like, the simplest game, make a box move, and then make it jump. And then try to make something out of that. Then maybe take that code that you've made and try to expand it, like, hey, how can I make this a cooler game? Maybe I can take this running and jumping box, I can make a platformer, or maybe out of that I can try to do something fancier, like, I can give it a wall jump, I just give it extra moves. Maybe I turn it into a 2D shooter. Just start with making small games. And just go through the process of looking at the docs. If you can't find it in the docs, look at Google. If you can't find your answer on Google, then you can look at a tutorial. And as soon as your question is answered, go back to making your game. That's kind of how I learned how to do game dev. Just someone else explained it better than me. You desire Windows because most games you just play aren't on Mac. That's true. Every single Mac user ever, right there, just summed up in one sentence. Sorry. You always say start with clicker game, platformer, then do what you want. Yeah, like, I think I started with. I mean, I heard it described that making a box move is the hello world of making games. Like, you know, in every other programming language that you do, like, print hello world. Like, every programming language, this is the first program you make. Because it teaches you, like, everything you need to know about, well, the most fundamental stuff about making a console application. You started with programming because of Denny? Hey, that's great. I did not. Who did I start programming because of? I don't know if there was... I wasn't watching YouTube at the time. Like, I wasn't on YouTube when I started making games. I think I just wanted to make games. I think that was it. But yeah, making a box move is the hello world, and that's the first thing I ever did. In a game engine. Like, when I started with Unity, and I started, like, I want to make games, I made a box move. That was the first thing I did. Watching Brackies is worth it if you want to get familiar with stuff. After that, move on. Yeah, Brackies is great. Brackies is a little bit older content now. Some of it might be out of date just because Brackies hasn't been making Unity content in a long time. He basically quit YouTube before quitting YouTube was a popular thing to do. Do you need to know C# before starting Unity? Absolutely not. Because that's the whole point of this process. That's the whole point of the process of going through the documentation, then going to Google, and then going to a tutorial. The whole point of this process is you don't know the C#. You don't know how to code in Unity, and so this is the process you do to learn that. That's the whole point of this. This will teach you how to work inside of Unity using its UI and all of its tools, and will also teach you at the same time how to code in C#. Everything you need to know about making games, you will learn by making games. Engines won't teach how to declare variables, they'll just expand the language. Okay, yeah, but SNAS, if you're talking about, like, something simple like declaring a variable like this, like, float, number, I don't think that's fairly complicated. But if you're talking about, like, declaring stuff like class variables, you don't need that to make a game. You don't need classes to make a game, even though I have them. It makes it easier and more organized, but you don't need it. What about generics and stuff? You'll learn it. If you need it, you'll learn it by just researching. What made me start YouTube? A couple of things. So I want to be distracted today, honestly. A couple of things. At the time, well, first thing, I was listening to a lot of music playlists on YouTube when I started. This was my very first YouTube channel. The name of the YouTube channel was my IRL name, so I'm not gonna plug it because that YouTube channel doesn't exist anymore. And I just posted music on there. At the time, I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to make music. That was what I loved doing. I was, like, I don't know, 14 years old, and I was on my iPad with GarageBand, and it wasn't even my iPad. It was someone else's iPad I was borrowing. I was on GarageBand, and I was making tunes. And I just posted my music on YouTube. I stopped doing that very quickly. I lost interest in making music. School went on, and then all of a sudden, I got introduced into, the Minecraft side of YouTube. There was stuff like Hermitcraft that I got into, and, Technoblade at the time. A bunch of stuff like that. And I think I just got inspired by that, and I just wanted to make Minecraft videos. But also at the same time, I was kind of seeing people like, who was I seeing? Sebastian Lag, probably around that time. I was getting in, like, I had just come off of, middle school where I started learning how to make games. I started learning how to make games at the end of middle school, so I was starting to get into high school. And so I was really interested in making games as well. And so I created 2 channels. One of them, called, Astro Dwarf, and the other one named Astro Dev. And I tried to make a schedule. That's just kind of how I started. And I tried to make a schedule that I was going to, in the span of 4 weeks, I was going to post a Minecraft video. Then I was going to have a week off working on other videos. Then I was going to post a Minecraft video. And then the week after that, I was going to post a devlog. That was my plan for the month. That didn't last very long because it was really hard to make videos. Especially these ones are very hard to make, devlogs. And so I ended up kind of dropping devlogs for quite a while and making a lot of Minecraft videos. Eventually, give it a lot of time. I took a break, and eventually I basically was like, you know what? This is more successful. I like how these videos turn out a lot more. I think they're a lot more entertaining, a lot higher quality. So I'm just gonna make these, and I'm gonna cut out these. And then I eventually renamed this channel to Astrodwarf. And this channel's gone. We need Minecraft SMP thing? Once again, I don't have money for that. If you want to learn web dev, check out the Odin project. They teach you the essentials, give you other sources and learn from, and make you do projects plus FOSS. Okay. I mean, even for like web dev, I think like just making your own stuff, just by like making your own stuff and doing your own research, reading the docs yourself, you learn to read docs, doing research yourself, you learn how to Google stuff when you have problems. I think like that's actually more valuable than going through lessons. But to each their own. Some people might not find the way that I learned, and I learned most effectively as effective for them, and they might find someone else teaching something to them, and catering the teaching to them is a lot more effective to them. Am I a full-time dev? No. I just do this for fun. That's great, man. Yeah. I mean, it's great for me. I enjoy doing it. You want to learn networking? As you know, it costs money to get servers running. What kind of networking? Do you want to do, like, multiplayer game SNES? That sort of networking? Because there are options to do it for free. I can tell you, I do not spend money on multiplayer games. Maybe, like, multiplayer games? Yeah? Okay. You can start... If you're working in Unity, the first thing you can work with is, I have it tabbed, not squid boards. That's not what you start with. You can start with this. Unity Relay. This is, like, free up to, like, your first 1 million users or something like that. And that's 1 million users per month. This is free to use. Like, all of Unity's, like, multiplayer stuff is free to use up to a certain point, and you guys will never pass that point. It probably won't pass that point. Allow me to clarify. I can't say whether you'll make it big with your game or not. Like, this is perfect. If you're, like, a small game dev, and, like, you're just making games for fun, like, Unity services really work really well for that. You did try NetForward for game objects, or something. But what about, like, global multiplayer? Oh, so you want, like, one multiplayer server and everyone joins it, sort of like an MMO? Is that what you're looking at? Or are you looking for matchmaking? Because matchmaking is the other option. Imagine it like the difference between Minecraft is everyone is in the same world. Yeah, so everyone could... in the hearts, in the way. Yeah, so everyone can play around the world almost. Want to learn about matchmaking too? Well, guess what? Unity has, they have something. Unity has a matchmaking thing as well. I don't remember what it's called. Unity does have a matchmaking thing as well. I think it's called Unity Lobby. Relay and Lobby work well together and help team. Yeah, it's called Lobby. So if I go here, Lobby. Yeah, it's just called Lobby. The first thing, if you want to keep it simple, you could use something like Lobby for your game. It would limit the amount of players that can play together at a time, but not everyone is together. For the sake of simplicity, this could work. On the other end of the spectrum, if you want every single player in the same world and you're like, no matter what, I want to do this, every single player in the same world, sort of like a Minecraft thing, it's a little bit more complicated. Only works with limited users? Well, it depends, because you get to set what the lobby size, our pricing you get to set the I've used this before, and, like, you can just set in your code, like, hey, I want my lobbies to be 100 players big. This would be the easy way of doing it, what you want to do. Check the Discord, I can't hear you. Oh wait, Zinth's contacting me. Oh. Okay. Will it work with people around the globe? Yes, this does work with people around the globe. If you're using Relay, so the reason that I recommend Relay is player to player. Relay runs off of something called P2P, which basically sets up one of the players as the host. And then every other player connects to this player because they are the server. Rather than having dedicated servers, what happens is you have a server up here, which each player will connect to initially, which will then tell them, no, connect to this person over here, they're the host. That's why I recommend Relay, is because like you'll be relying less on Unity services, meaning that you can leave this running for longer. And also there's also just elements of it that just work. So if his connection ruins, what happens? Okay. So if this person disconnects, let's say they DC, you need to add some code. Like, you can code it. You need to add some code, which basically every single player will then connect to the server and basically say, hey, what's going on? This person's missing. This person disconnected. To which the server will then assign, hey, you are now the host. And then everyone will then terminate these connections and then connect to to the new host. You need to do some coding for that, though, and I'm sure there are lots of examples of this online, because if you're, like, deploying anything, you need to have this. If you're deploying anything. Alternatively, you can just make something custom in Node.js, and then, yeah, pay for a server, which I've done before. It's a lot more stable when you make your own thing, but also, it's not free. You think matchmaking is much better? Okay, I mean, SNES. The scale of game you're making is probably going to be small. The people who are playing it, probably going to be a few people at a time. Using Relay and matchmaking will probably work best for you. But good luck making that. Okay, code. So idle, I need a... I think I want to use Perlin noise for this. Welcome here, Janus. Or Giannis? Probably messed that up really bad. See you, Michael. I kind of want to use Perlin noise for this. So what I'm thinking is controller. Controller dot inputs sword position equals new vector 2 Thanks for the tips, man. You're gonna go as well. All right, see ya. Enjoy making your first game. Also, welcome here, Lucer. Don't worry about it, dude. Okay, I'll make sure I mess it up even worse next time, Janice. So the one works by Minecraft style. Which server is the host? And matchmaking is the one where the player owns the thing, actually. No, Relay. Unity Relay, which is player to player, which one of the players is the host. So an example of that would be Splatoon, runs off of player to player. Probably a lot of old games you're aware of run off of player to player. Every Nintendo game ever runs off of player to player matchmaking. Matchmaking is just the server is putting players together. Matchmaking is what is the server, is the main Unity owned server, is basically being like, hey, you players connect together and you guys play together. That's what matchmaking is. Matchmaking is just telling the players, is just like organizing the player. Imagine matchmaking like this. You have a bunch of kindergarten students that are playing football, and you're the teacher. Or matchmaking would be the teacher who is going, okay, you 4 students, you're a team, and you go play on this field. You 4 students, you play against them on that same field. You 4 students go over here, and you 4 students go over there, and I have 3 students left. You're gonna have to wait for one more kid to show up. Matchmaking would be the teacher in that situation who's organizing the kids to play against each other. And then they go over to the fields, and then they join their own player-to-player servers. Minecraft does not run off of player-to-player, though. Except for one exception, which doesn't matter. Minecraft does have a dedicated server. And also, Minecraft does not have matchmaking. Minecraft doesn't have matchmaking because you need to know the URL of the server you're connecting to, and you connect directly to the server, rather than a server telling you which server you're connecting to. How's the game going? It's going alright. I'm mostly just talking right now. How far am I in? How much progress? The game is kind of playable now. So there's a lot of animation stuff you can block. If I block this... Yo, blocking animation. Awesome. And if I just sit here and take a bunch of hits, you'll notice in the console here, after enough hits, I'm dead. Being dead doesn't do anything at this point, though. What am I making right now? Dark Souls if it was motion controls. I think the title explains it all. What was the most viewers I've ever had on stream? 28. And I think that was for this game. Not this stream, though. It was one of the earlier streams for making this game. Still does not hold the candle to ZynthBeats, who while he was streaming before he had a bunch of exams at school, averaged at twitch.tv/ZynthBeats. Yes, got another plugin. Averaged like, he averages like 30 plus. And honestly, he deserves it. He's a really good streamer. By the way, Golfing God is above mobs rolls. Yeah, I know, Snas. I know. Wanted to tell you that I never left. Gasp! How dare you lie in my chat and tell me that you were leaving but were just lurking the entire time? You're also working on your game. It had the base game done about a month ago, but then tweaking, making a menu, level skins, all these stuff took me so long and I'm still not done. Yeah. Yes. And probably while you're at it, you're probably doing something called polishing. You're probably polishing your game while you're working on it. This is something I do. So polishing typically is considered the last 90% of the game. This is the most effort. This is the majority of the effort you're going to put into your game is polishing. Making everything look good, fixing bugs, stuff like that. This is supposed to be done at the end of your game. But what I like doing is I like doing it... let's say this is the start of working on a game, this is the end. I like doing it the entire time. I like doing polishing the entire time I'm working on a game. So let's say here I make a playable player, and here I make levels. Like, the thing is, I like doing it the entire time, so when I'm working on something, I like working on it until it's at a completed state. This is probably why it's feeling like it's taking a long time, is because you're doing the polish while doing everything else. And so, the polish will always feel like it takes a long time, and yeah. It's cool advice to try to tie it to my next project. I mean, it's not necessarily advice. I like working this way. You probably like working this way as well. If you want to feel like you're going faster, leave things unpolished. Leave your character controller not perfect and doesn't feel perfect yet. Leave your levels untextured. Just leave them as like a checker box material boxes all over the place. Leave your levels like that. So you have playable levels that are functional and they're fun to play, but it doesn't look perfect yet. You'll feel like you're moving a lot faster then, because instead of trying to focus on a bunch of aspects of polishing at once, you're focusing on just the gameplay. Yeah, but it bites you in the butt at the end? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. The thing is it's not going to bite you in the butt for doing that. Just make sure you're writing it down. It'll compress all of the polishing down to here, instead of the entire time. How should I say this? It's not gonna bite you in the butt, you're just doing it later. If you have things that are actually game-breaking and need to be done now, then you'll do them now. If you have bugs that are actually, like, are important, it's fine, Attila. Like, I'm trying to keep this stream family-friendly, so I ask that you try... I'm not gonna ban you. You didn't know. I try to keep the stream family-friendly, so it's accessible to as many people as possible, so I try to ask everyone to not use any profanity. Just keep in mind next time. Yeah. I just want the stream to be accessible to everyone. I know there are some younger people who watch my streams and my content, and maybe there are some older people who say don't enjoy... How shall I describe it? Dirty mouthing is law. It's not really a good word for it. Not really a good term for it. Don't enjoy the more mature banter. And so they enjoy a cleaner stream. There's also that, so I like to keep it accessible. From my experience, nobody notices if you don't swear. Nobody notices if you don't. But there are people who do notice that you do swear. And those people can be turned off from watching your content because you are. And so I like to keep it accessible. Small thing. If you have, like, major bugs, stuff like that, yeah, you're gonna squash those out, but, like, in terms of, like, making everything perfectly beautiful, adding post-processing, stuff like that, it's not critical. I'll put it that way. If it's not, critical for the game to be playable and enjoyable, then it fits into polishing. So basically, this here, the first, let's say, 50% of making your game is the critical parts of making your game, the parts that need to be there for the game to just be playable. And then the next 50%, make it look a little bit nicer, make it feel a little bit better, add maybe a couple of quality of life features in there. That's polishing. This part will feel like it goes by a lot faster, because you are focusing on what is important rather than the small details that make it feel better. You call polishing finishing touches? Yeah, it's not necessarily the finishing touches though, Snas, that's the problem. Because it's the last 50% of what you do on a game. It is half of what you do on a game is polishing. Which I find difficult since you get more ideas in the end. Yeah. Of course, when you're getting, like, ready to, like, finish a game, you start thinking of a bunch of things like, oh, it'd be cool if I added this, oh, it'd be cool if I added that. And then you listen to yourself and add those things, and then all of a sudden you have an extra 2 months you just spent on your game when you could have released it 2 months ago. And your game still isn't done after 2 months because now you need to polish all of those cool things you want to add. Which is why it's important to have a game design document. So that you know, hey, no, you keep yourself in check that, no, these are the features I said I was going to add at the beginning. This is going to be the gameplay, and I don't know if these new features that I want to be, that I think are cool. Astro is arresting me secretly. Lol. 11 months? I didn't say 11 months. Yeah, like these, you need to make sure that you're keeping track of these features are important to the game. They need to be there. Anything else I think of afterwards, I can think about it, I can write it down, but they aren't critical for the game. And so I'm going to ignore them for now until I have a working game. And if I think that it needs something extra to be good, then I can look at those ideas. Best idea is just finish what you have in mind and write other stuff down for the next update. Exactly! Adding new stuff to the game makes it take a lot longer for you to make your game, and you will never stop having ideas, because when you're working on a game, you just want to work on a different game. That's just how it works. When you're working on one game, you wish you were working on a new game for the novelty of it. And so that's why you get all of those ideas. The only one who hates making UI in games? No, there's tons of people who hate making UI. For the life, I just can't come up with cool UI. That's another thing. I know that... Let's see. I think it's this file. Well, hopefully this works, because I don't have the version of Unity that this was made on. You always try to find a balance between utility and simplicity, but it's so hard. Well then, when you're starting off, don't try to find a balance, just keep it simple. Just err on the side of simplicity. It's a lot easier to build on top of something that's simple than something that was built with being complex in mind. Just start with simplicity, you can make it more complicated over time. It's what is it? Anagram? No, not anagram. When you have a word where every letter means a word. I've heard it said kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. I've been told that before. I'm trying to open up a UI example. I know the creator of Smash, I forget his name, Sakurai, that's who, has said on YouTube before that, about creating UI, creating something stylistic versus something functional. I'm not going to talk about that right now in terms of like enjoying creating UI. Like, yes, it is difficult, but if you create something stylistic, I think you become more invested into the UI you're creating. Let's say you just create a UI that looks cool, has way too much effort put into it. You'll enjoy making your UI a lot more just because you have a cool UI, rather than a simple but functional one. I think there's a lot of value to the developer in creating a complex UI. Bye, you have to go. All right, see you, Rolf. For example, Apple's UI is simple. I mean, yeah, like, a simple UI generally means that it will be easier to navigate. But I think having a more detailed and more artistically tasteful UI also is more fun to develop. I'm trying to open a file right now. I'm trying to open a file. All it is, like, it's an entire project. The only thing it is just a title screen. That's all it is. And I spent many hours on just the title screen. I spent many hours on it. But I enjoyed working on it just because I decided to go all out on it and make a really stylistic title screen. Okay. While that's converting down here and opening, I'm just gonna keep coding. I'm thinking, math. Oh, well, it's done converting. Let's go. Coding's over. Okay. This is the UI that I made. I love this UI, by the way. I think it's, like, I think it does have, like, details of it that need fixed, but, like, it's just, oh, it's just so expressive. I love how this looks. I think this guy screams when he talks with caps. No, some people just caps lock everything. That's fine. Snas, it doesn't bother me if someone's talking in all caps. That's low-key sick, yeah. But just by making something that's, like, more detailed, it naturally becomes more fun to work on UI just because it's more detailed. Reminds you of, like, Persona 5 and a bit of Smash Bros. It was based off of Persona 5 and, something else. Something else. I forgot what it was based off of. I worked on this, like, a year and a half ago. Also, this font, this is a font that I made. I made this font by hand. Windows! It's not Windows! But yeah, like, I think just because, like, I made a really cool UI, a design that I liked, it was more fun to work on the UI, so just make something cool. So that you're interested in making your UI, and you will have a better UI in the end that people will love more. Anyways, yeah, this is just the UI I made. Anyways, I just wanted to flex that, because I love that UI too much. Anyways, coding. I've been talking about UI for like the past 10 minutes. What happened? Oh, don't worry, UI. Persona 5 has a good UI to start with. Okay, you just love it. Yeah, I love Persona 5's UI. I know that, like, Sakurai bashed it for being, like, not very easy to navigate because it focuses on, like, being stylistic. I think it's very easy to navigate, actually. I think the developers were very smart with, like, with positioning things on screen. They were able to get, like, their imagery they wanted, but they also, like, positioned stuff on screen in such a way that it drew your attention to the right elements of the UI, so it was easy to navigate despite it being very, complex. And very stylistic. I think they did a wonderful job with it. I don't think bashing it for being stylistic is proper. I haven't played Persona 5 though, but I have watched through all of it, so... I mean, you just have someone you watch on YouTube who plays through Persona 5 and you just watch every episode of it. Okay, in here, I want to have a value. I'm gonna call it p-noise. I think if I do mathf.perlinnoise 1D. And then I just do time.time. And then I can have load idle angle equals 0. And then I can do idle angle plus equals mathf.perlinnoise time.time. I'm gonna have to add a speed in here and add like a value, and then I can actually do idle angle plus, and then I have a calculation. Extra math dot wrap angle. I wrote this function a long time ago. I knew it would come in handy. At Astrodorf 9.9k. Yes, it's been there for a long time, Bees, but welcome here. And then I can do mathf.sine, idle angle. Oh wait, no, cosine. See guys, I remember trigonometry from school. Mathf.sine, idle angle. And now, dot value. I forgot. It was 9.89 yesterday? Yeah, because a couple of people unsubscribed. Well, I didn't do trigonometry yet. Well, don't worry, this will all make sense. Probably never, because this is code. Coding trigonometry is a little different from, school trigonometry. Where are these? System.random. When did I use system? Where am I using system? Yeah, I didn't think I was using system. Okay. Is that a namespace or extension? It's a class. So there's always certain pieces of math that don't have functions, so I just create my own class called extra math, a static class, and I just add like lerp3 where you can it's just a normal lerp function, but it has 3 points. This one's always in the middle at like 0.5. Which allows me to have my sword slashing animation without the sword clipping through the back of your body because the sword moves forward when it's in the middle, when it's closer, when your arms... Yeah, when it's in the middle, and then it moves further back when your arms are more stretched out. It allows me to do stuff like that. Same with Quaternion.lerp3. I use it once. For the exact same reason, probably. Cross vector lerp. This basically is... Oh, how do I explain this? This is just for the foot placement. For when you're dashing, basically it just determines based on the direction you're dashing where your feet should be. The game ideas are like the type of stuff I'd get at 4 a.m. Perfect. That's the kind of game ideas I love. You know, like what would make a game that uses Xbox 360 Kinect. This doesn't actually use a 360 Kinect, but close enough because it'll use hack into someone's VTuber software to be played. Angle distance, this is just the distance between two angles, which is more complicated than it seems, because you might think that you just do A minus B. The problem is that A minus B doesn't work. You need to wrap the angle and get the absolute value of it, because if A is 0 and B is negative 180 degrees, well, all of a sudden the distance between them is, well, I guess it... let's say negative 360 degrees. All of a sudden the distance between them is 360 degrees despite it actually being 0. Let's say A is 175 and B is negative 179 degrees. All of a sudden, the distance is actually 2 degrees between them, but this doesn't think it is, just because of math. So you have to wrap the angle, which wrapping the angle is basically just binding it to be between math.pi and negative math.pi. More complicated stuff. Math stream for real? I mean, that's a lot of coding. A lot of coding is math. Could I send it in Discord? Sure, yeah. I could send this all in Discord. You can make an extension. Astro, I don't really care to make an extension. At the end of the day, it'll all do the same thing, and I like remembering that these are my functions and they are not part of the Math F class. I like remembering that. Anyways, anyways, I'll send that in the Discord for you.
I won't let you get away with this, robot man.
At SNAS. Yeah, there you go. There you go, SNAS. Enjoy. You only use Python, so that's fine. I don't like Python, but hey, if Python works for you, it's the right programming language. It's the one that works. How many years have I been learning Unity? I don't know, 9, 10? I honestly don't know at this point. Probably too many, not gonna lie. Yep, too many. That is the answer. I was in middle school when I started learning how to use Unity. Although, like, I was in grade 8, so I was ready to leave middle school, but hey. Okay, where was I? Here, enemy controller. I just want to test that this works, and I want to adjust its values. Should I learn Unity? It depends. That depends, bees. Do you want to make games? And what kind of games do you want to make? I'm gonna add some new public floats in here. Idle speed and... idle change rates. Just so I can adjust them from the inspector. Isn't Unity good for low poly games? I just think Unity is really flexible. I think Unity is good for really good for stylistic games. Not necessarily low poly, but stylistic. I think Unreal Engine is good for realistic because all of its settings are set up ahead of time. Specifically for stylistic games, so it has post-processing that's already running ahead of time. It already has all of its lighting set up in a very particular way for a game that looks realistic. You can get the same lighting in Unity, you just have to set it up yourself. So Unity's very flexible, but you also need to set up a lot of stuff yourself because not everything is default set up in it. It is good for low and a little higher than mid. No, Unity's good for everything. Unity is one of the more flexible game engines. Have I seen the video of a car on fire made in Unreal? No, but I imagine that you guys are gonna freak out over it, and I'm gonna be like, okay, that was cool. And I'm gonna not freak out over it. Get back to work, blood. Personally, Unity is easier to use and learn, but Unreal makes it realistic and easier to code with blueprints. Okay, yeah. Unity does have a system like blueprints. It's just not installed by default. So you actually have to install it into your project to work with it. And also Unreal just has like the Megascans library, which is why I say it's so good for realistic games, because it has Megascans library. It has Nanite, which makes it a lot easier to work with unoptimized meshes. You just have a lot of stuff at your disposal for realistic stuff. Like realistic stuff. And like Unity, Unreal, like Unreal is very much so marketing, or Epic Games is very much so marketing it to making realistic games. What is that library? I don't remember what it's called in Unity. I'm sure you could look it up. I've never actually used it, but I know that it does have it. I could probably find it in the package manager. But also there is the thing that Unreal, because it's so catered to hyper-realistic, that you actually need a higher-end computer to run it. Or you need to spend ages optimizing it and limiting its capabilities to get it running on lower-end systems. Whereas Unity, it can just run off of lower-end systems off the get-go. But you can also just add more and more to make it run on higher-end systems. Welcome here, Ali. Imagine not coding? Yeah, it could be me. Code. If I just look up code, will I find it? No, I won't. I don't remember what it is. It's somewhere in here. It's somewhere in there. I don't know which one it is. There is like a blueprint system for Unity. Unity is quite good for stylized games. For example, Cuphead, Fall Guys, and Hollow Knight were made in Unity. Just because you pull a couple of examples that were made in Unity doesn't mean that it is catered towards that. Unity is a lot... Okay, if you're comparing Unity and Unreal Engine, there is no contest. Unity is better at 2D games than Unreal is, because Unreal just has nothing for 2D. Fall Guys was Unreal? Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was also bought out by Epic Games, so kind of given that it would be an Unreal. Fortnite was in Unreal Engine as well, but once again, owned by Epic Games. Like, if I show you this, and let's say I add, let's say I add, like, lens... I add post-processing to this, and I add, like, lens flare and stuff like that. I could convince you guys this was made in Unreal Engine. Very easily. Unity can do realistic stuff, you just need to know the dials to push, whereas Unreal Engine just has those dials pushed by default. Unity can do 100% Unreal stuff, it just needs too much effort, which needs a few clicks in Unreal. Yeah, so Unity is flexible, it can do everything Unreal can, but it also can do things on the other side of the spectrum much easier than Unreal can. What? Why is it so good? Because I put a small amount of effort into making it look good. I haven't even done stuff that Unreal Engine does. Like, Unreal Engine, by default, has post-processing, and it has lens flares. It has all of that. I don't have any of that. I don't have lens flares, I don't have post-processing, so I don't even have completely what Unreal Engine all has to make it look realistic, and I could add more. Also, this is intentionally not realistic, this character right here. That's intentionally left as, like, a cell shader. The reason it looks like this in the editor is because if I had lighting, it's kind of hard to look at what I'm doing when I'm working on this character. So I just disable lighting. Exactly, that's why I like Unity, except sometimes it crashes and kind of slow. Unreal Engine is slower. And yes, Unity sometimes does crash, and it has random bugs that are unfixable. I still work with it, though. It's very flexible. Honestly, I have no idea how to make shaders in Unreal Engine. It's probably a lot harder to do in Unreal Engine, because Unity's been doing it for years. If I didn't teach Astra about more options, it would take 10 seconds to load everything. That is true. Can I make Roblox in Unreal Engine 6? I mean, technically you could. I'm not gonna do it, though. Okay, I wanted to test something. Did I save? I did save. So, enemy. I just want him to idle the whole time. So we're gonna set this to, like, 100. Oh. Idle weight to 100. Idle speed to 1 and idle change rate to 1. Let's see how this looks. Yo, he's going crazy with the sword. Look at those moves. Look at him move. Guys, I'm using a bad use of time.delta time. Don't tell anyone that I did that. The thing with animation is you can't reverse play it, so disappointing. You can do that in Unity. Pretty sure you can. You can just set the clip speed to be like, you can set the clip speed to be -1. Look at him go. He's going crazy. I think the speed should be turned down. And the change rate should be turned up. I forgot to implement all of this stuff in here, didn't I? I, in fact, did. So, times... idle speed, and then times idle change rate. There we go. Can't wait for UE 17. Aren't we only on UE 5.2 or something? But your playback speed can't be negative. Oh, that's what you mean. Like you can't play the game backwards? Never mind. I have no idea what you mean. Also, I love this bug. One of my favorites. Okay. We're going to change the speed to 0.1. And then increase the idle change rate.
Hello?
Welcome to your unbeatable opponent. Animation clip playback speed, how fast the animation plays, can't be negative, can't be played reverse. I'm pretty sure I've played clips reverse before. Let's see. Speed, -1. Snas, I'm glad I could help you, but you are just sending lies in chat. I literally just set it to negative. Let's see if that causes an error. Nope, it's still -1. The only problem is that it just doesn't work. You can set it, alright. Let's put the dodge roll animation in here. Let's make set layer as default state, and let's just set it to -1. Oh, by the way, this is running backwards. This animation. Yeah, this is running backwards. If I then set this to 1, it'll be rolling the other way. Yeah, he's rolling the other way now. It runs backwards. Impossible. It's... Alright. Snas, thank you for being the daily dose of sending lies in chat. Anyways, glad I could help you. It didn't work, I swear. Some animations look very similar playing backwards to our eyes, and so it's hard to tell, or maybe you tried setting it negative in the clip here. Well, I guess you can't there. Maybe you tried setting it negative somewhere else. But in the animator, you can play it backwards by setting it to negative here. It might not work with clips that don't loop, that don't loop though. That might be in oversight. That with clips that don't loop, it doesn't work. That might be like you need to have loop time enabled here in the clip for it to work. So that might actually be the problem you're running into, Snas. You tried setting by code? Okay, well, setting anything in animation by code is always gonna, like, in Unity is always gonna be weird. You might have referenced the wrong thing because you have to go through a lot of layers. And even when you do set stuff and you pull information or set information by code, sometimes it just doesn't work in Unity, and I've never learned why it doesn't work. Guess I'm a liar. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. SNES. Now try speed divided by 0. That will give me a number called, here. That will give me the number, capital N, lowercase a, capital N. And yes, I can set that as the number as well. It just stands for not a number. But that does count as a number. If I type anything else in here, like, if I type anything else in here, it won't work. But I can type that word. Anyways. It's in Unity for more than 2 years, not 2 hours. Yeah. And SNAS, because Unity is so flexible, there is so much to learn about Unity. Have you ever learned about making shaders in Unity? This is fun to do, SNAS. This is fun to do. Have you ever learned about making shaders in Unity? I know that there's shader graph exists, but shader graph is absolutely terrible. It is so bad. It is comical how bad it is. You haven't tried shaders, Astro? You see, there's a lot of things with Unity. There's a lot of information to take in with Unity, so the fact that you forgot one thing is fine. Or one thing didn't work is fine. Welcome here, Zan. Because there's just so much to learn with Unity. Like, it's actually insane how much you can. You mostly do 2D. I've done 2D shaders before. I did it for, like, Grinch Simulator, too. But, like, yeah, there's just so much to learn with Unity, so the fact that you messed up one thing or forgot one thing, that's fine. Because Unity, like, the thing that separates it from other game engines is, like, how flexible it is. You can make shaders fairly easily in Unity. You can mess with animations fairly easily in Unity. You can code very easily in Unity. You can do particles very easily in Unity. You can even make your own particle system if you want. You can code in your own dynamic geometry that changes frame by frame in Unity. You can dynamically generate your own models and save them to the hard drive. Like, you can do a lot of stuff. You did try shader graphs, yeah, but you didn't code. Yeah. If anyone ever wants to get serious into making shaders in Unity, please don't use shader graph. Shader graph is so limiting. The shader graph works for making, like, small stuff, but if you want to make something, like, I think the biggest thing is, like, if you want it to interact with the lighting at all, you can't do it in shader graph. It doesn't work. It only works for unlit shaders. But this is an unlit shader, by the way. But it interacts with lighting because I have a pass for it. You can just do it in code. You cancel my membership, so like 5 to 10 business days. If you cancel it right now, Zan, you'll keep your membership until, well, it ends. If you cancel it right now, like, it won't just remove your membership. %99 sure of that, because that's, like, how every membership ever works. I did that with Code Combat as well. I do that on Twitch. If I, like, just want to, like, sub to someone for, like, 1 month, like, I'll sub to them and then I'll immediately cancel it. Which, I haven't done that in a long time, but, yeah. Yes, I was working on this. And this guy considers himself to be below average developer. Below average developer, yes. Above average with math, also yes. I'm good with math. Wait, in the game you battle Astro now? Yes, yes, I am the final boss of this game. Don't tell Zyn. Guess you're average in math? That depends. I mean, SNAS, it's hard to say, like, who's average, who's not average in math, because when it comes to, like, you can be good at certain things in math. You can be really good at, stuff like, trigonometry, and that sort of stuff, which is what I'm doing a lot of in this game. I need to do a lot of it. You can be really good at 3D spatial awareness in math, which is really hard to do. Let's say, like, doing intersections, like, trying to calculate intersections between two objects, that's insanely hard to do. For me to do, someone else might find it easy. There's also shader code, which I might consider a little bit of linear algebra and just artistic math. Artistic math is a thing. You're just taking math, you're making up your own equations to make something, to make a visual something that doesn't exist. Artistic math is another thing. Thoughts on configurable joints? What, like joints inside of, Also, I'm not using this code for this game. I don't have any shaders in this game. Give you a Python game idea? Anyone here? Make Snake, but you have a gun. Glad I could help these. In Unity, I don't use the configurable joints, but I guess they're probably really good for ragdolls, because I'm pretty sure they have to do with physics. You saw that in a recommendation? I haven't. I just pulled that out of nowhere. Okay, I actually do know where I pulled that from. I pulled that from when I was testing ChatGPT to see if I could do a video where I am trying to, say, make a game where I'm racing someone to make a game, someone who has never made a game before, and they are only using ChatGPT, and didn't Doug make that? I don't know. I think Doug just made Snake 2.0, whereas Twitch chat just gave ChatGPT ideas for Snake. But I was trying to see if I could get, like, ChatGPT to make a game and see if I could race someone who's never made a game before, but they're using ChatGPT. I think it would be a cool video idea, but, yeah, it didn't work. ChatGPT sucks at coding. And most of the times, on the second response, you had fatal bugs that would never get fixed. And most of the time, the gameplay didn't even work. You mostly use ChatGPT. You'd like to bring that back. Honestly, I don't really use ChatGPT at all. I find it's not useful. Can I add? I can't. These are the only, the only two 3D models I have on my hard drive. And there is lore behind this. I know, juicy lore. Never knew about artistic algebra. Learn new every day with Astrodorf. Okay, so artistic algebra. Or artistic math, I call it. Like, what is artistic math? I should probably... Let's say you're trying to make a force field effect. So you have a sphere, and you have the ground intersecting with it. Like, the ground intersecting with it is math that you already know. You know where the ground is. It's fixed place. Artistic math is taking that. It's taking the knowledge of knowing where the ground is. You want to, say, have a gradient that goes up a little bit to show you like where it intersects with the floor, so it's like a clear indicator. What you can do, let me get an airbrush out, is you want a gradient going up. Let's make the opacity less. You want a gradient going up for where it intersects into the floor up about halfway. This is artistic math. Figuring out like what color that that gradient, where like what value the gradient needs to be. This is artistic math. This has no basis in like any math science or any like math branch or anything. It's just purely you making up your own math to figure out a problem. And let's say you want tiny little hexagons. Like, of course, it'll intersect with other branches of math. Let's say you want tiny little hexagons across all of it. This is also artistic math, because it's just how it looks, and it doesn't really branch with other fields of math. I mean, it might branch a little bit. This might branch with, like, 3D geometry and, like, stuff like that, but it's also, like, not really. Let's say you want to give everything like a charcoal drawing effect, and so you add a noise effect so that the edges are a lot more fuzzy. Artistic math. I can't really emulate it. I do actually have a post-processing effect for making everything look like it's drawn with charcoal. It's in a different game though. Like, that's just artistic math. It doesn't really fit into a branch of math, and it's creative math that you're generating yourself. You can't research this stuff. What is your new video gonna be? Look in front of you. This is what the new video is gonna be. Knows modeling, math, Unity, networking, editing. Who is this guy? That's also why it's impossible for me to find someone to edit for me in the future. Like, let's say at some point, I want to make more videos, and so I'm going to work on coding, making games, stuff like that, be the guy behind the camera, whereas I get someone else to edit my videos for me. That's why it's impossible for me to get someone to edit my videos for me, is because, like, the skill set you need is also the same as you need to make the games. Because I do a bunch of animation as well. You have to be able to work, like, animate the models in also a particular way as well. There's a lot of the video editing, there's just a lot of stuff that skills that you need for the videos I edit, and it's, like, very niche, because it's just the stuff I know. I use the stuff that I know to make videos, to make the best videos I can. What do I use for editing? It depends what part of the editing you're talking about. For just editing in general, I use DaVinci Resolve. It's free. And it's really good. Part of me actually believes that you're 35. I'm not, Snass. Okay. Enemy, let's try this again. Let's set this to 10. Oh. Bro hasn't done any coding? Well, I mean, I am working on this one thing. I want it to show me the latest messages, but it's not doing it, and I don't know how to make it do it. Oh, well, I guess that works. Okay. Just add more zeros till it works. Nothing seems to be happening from this. I'm watching at 1440p quality. Of course you can't see the code. Yeah, Astro AI do be having a mental breakdown, doesn't know where to put the sword. I wonder. I don't think that'll change anything. Yeah, that didn't change anything. I don't feel like changing my numbers does anything. That's the problem I'm having right now. I can't get, but ChatGPT is the actual AI. It would be way too slow, snaps, but it would be funny. Oh, you know what? I found the problem. There we go. Fixed. I think it's fixed. Opinions on Firebase? Have none. I have no idea what that is. There we go! That's what I wanted. You see that? It's working. Oh yeah, the range is between 0 and 1, I forgot. Which means I need to do a times 2 plus 1. Minus 1. Say like and subscribe and should glow the like button. Yo, you guys should like and subscribe and glow that like button. Did it work? Gonna go to sleep now. Good luck. Alright, see you, Janice. Janice. The change rate should be slower. Should be like 0.25. Oh, sorry, speed, and then 5. You see that? This is what I wanted. He's just moving his sword around, and like, he's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna attack, I'm gonna attack. He's just faking you out. That's all he's doing. This is what I wanted. It was such an easy way of doing it once I realized that I did the math wrong. Kind of disappointed that you have 9.9k subs and your video has 500 views. I mean, I know why. I'm fine with it. Doesn't that look good? You know why? Yeah, okay, so, latest video. Let me pull it up. View your channel. This video, not even 500 views. This video, first of all, I posted it without notifying subs that there was a new video posted. So that's the first problem. That's the first thing that went wrong. Second thing, the topic of the video. The topic of the video wasn't valid to be recommended to a lot of people. Third thing that possibly could have been a problem might have been that setting it as members only for the first few days of it being up might have caused problems, but I'll test that next video to see if that causes problems. And yeah, that's about it. So nobody got notified. None of these 9.9 thousand people that are subscribed got notified that I posted a new video 2 weeks ago. That was 2 weeks ago? That feels like way longer ago. So there you go. Anyways, this looks great. Anyways, let's set that to 0.25 and let's set that to 10. That looked great. Because they didn't hit that bell. No, even if you did hit that bell, it doesn't notify you because of what I did with that video. Press shoot to shoot. That's not the next thing I'm doing. We are not adding a gun to the game. I was experimenting with the publishing settings now, so that was why the video did not do well. Because I tried something. I don't need this anymore. Input attack key and input block key are both false. Let's just put that there. Okay. Opinions on buffing mods permissions in Discord. This sounds like asking for mod snaps. I don't know. I know you guys asked for emote permissions. Dodge. Oh wait, I can just do it here. Parry. Oh yeah, parry calculations needs more so that for like timing and stuff like that. Fake attack and counter attack I'm not gonna do anything with yet. I also need controller dot dodge. Input and dodge key. See, I'm coding SNAS. Are you proud of me? So proud of me. Finally coding. Hey, I code all the time. I just do it all off camera. You guys know this. I code more when nobody's watching. This should be expected. Alright, I'm out. Alright, see you, SNAS. I probably should stop stream soon because I need to teach Zinth how to animate. It's something he was asking me about. So to leave myself time, I probably should end stream soon. Also, with the idol... I probably actually want to do the exact same thing. I probably just want to, like, move back and forth. And I want to do, this whole thing here. I can do that another time, because I actually am not sure how I want it to move. I don't know if I want him to space, or if I just want him to, like, stay in range the whole time. Time to ruin the party, then. Alright, alright. Party's over, SNAS. You know what? I'll end stream at this point. I mean, we did not get a lot done today, but hey, people are making games now, so I call that a success. If you enjoyed watching, thanks. I'd say that was a successful stream. Thanks, man. Yeah, you're welcome. Anytime. I'll be live again eventually. Goodbye. All right. Wow, man, everyone starts chatting as soon as I'm saying bye. All of the what's it called? All of the